And they said the music scene as well, obviously, because it's quite good in Britain. Like in London, a lot of bands, or like comedy shows, anything, loads of stuff is always going on. Whereas in France,
I mean,
so much.
That's the thing. There's nothing really happening. London, I think, kind of. I wonder if part of it is down to like Paris feels very traditional when you go there, and it looks very traditional, and everything is kept the same. Whereas London moves around all the time. Stuff's constantly changing. Every time you go there, there's something new. Whereas in Paris, every time you go there, it looks exactly the same.
But I think Paris looks nicer, though.
I
think if you said to me, where do you want to live? I'd say, well, I'd quite like to live in Paris because of the way it looks. But I don't think I would really live there because nothing's going to go on for me. I'd prefer to live in London, probably. Although I'd need so much money to do this. You do not know. Mr. Callanor. Next question. Hong Kong, yes. Although isn't that a pollution cesspit? But I'd still like to see that.
A pollution cesspit? I would
live in London, Plex. I would live in London. If I had the money, I would live in London. Because it's obviously a city in England, like it wouldn't be as drastic. Numpty does the questions, okay.
There we go, Numpty has given us a question. Mr. Plopples.
Again,
do either of you... He's been paid off. Do either of you care for politics or world events? I don't know. Politics in this country is kind of shitty. They're all the same. They're all just really rich people.
Yeah, it is. It's
doing whatever the fuck they want.
Like, there are little things. Like, honestly, I would have voted for Liberal Democrat last time because Liberal Democrat said we will reduce the tax threshold for small companies. So you had to earn like £8,000 a year before you had to actually pay tax to the government. If you didn't earn that, then you didn't have to pay it. So I'm like, okay, that's going to benefit me as a small business. So I like that. And then the wankers went and shacked up with the Tories after you voted for them and said, oh, we're not doing that anymore. So it's like, what? Yeah. So now I'm just like, fuck you, Liberal Democrat. And I'm like, fuck you, Tories. So I'm just like, I'll vote Labour. But just because I don't even know I don't even like Ed Miliband. He looks like a wanker.
I don't like any of them. It feels like they're all the same, really, basically. There's minor differences in policies, but at the end of the day, it feels at the moment like there's a group of parties, all headed by multimillionaires, telling people how we've all got to knuckle down and get on with it, even though no one's got any money. And no matter how I look at it, I mean, I try and be mature about it in the fact that, well, okay, fine, they've got money. That's just how it is. But I still can't help but think, well, what the fuck do you know? What are you talking about? He's talking about making policies about cutting tax, or increasing tax, doing this, that, and the other. None of which affects you. It's all people who are in no way affected by the decisions they're making, who are making the decisions in the first place. And it just makes it really difficult to care. Because it feels like you're just voting for whichever.
What is it? The old boys club
wanker
from Eton? Is that what it is? With Boris Johnson and all the fucking rest of them. I mean, he right, okay, he's funny, but he's still a dick. He's still a massive toff, like his dad was, and he's like a carbon copy of his dad as well. But that is the problem. It's a problem with. It's always the same type of people who end up in politics in this country. Like, you don't get. Well, I guess using Obama is a little bit of a bad one because I think wasn't he a lawyer or anything, but at least he was kind of poor. I think at one point, maybe.
Well, there was at least something different to the normal.
Not just
no matter how.
Hello, I'm born into a family with millions of pounds, and I'm going to Eton. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what that is, that would cost a fucking shitload to send anybody to Eton.
Yes, that is massively expensive.
That is like the most
insane.
Like, basically. Sheikhs from the Arab world will send their children there because that is like, you are talking mega money. So
it's just mad. I mean, in some ways, I think maybe we've got it a little better than, say, like the US, because the US
I view theirs more as like a comedy show. Honestly, the way it's all promoted.
It's so weird. It's so driven. I mean, I know we've just complained about them having like too much money to really care about what's going on, but in the US, it's even worse because it's just. You just pay for whatever message you want to be put out. And some of the messages are so absolutely insane. I mean, when they had the last election in the US, did you hear about this? There was a leaflet drop
that basically said... From a bomber?
Well, it just said that Obama's mum was a porn star, and that was the whole thing. What? What is that? That was mental. I saw that on Reddit, and I was like, no, that's bullshit. I clicked through. No, it was a BBC article. It was absolutely true. That was a tactic from the other party to call his mum a porn star. And I'm thinking, what has that got to do with anything? It's not politics. It's not nothing. It's not... And then you see these mental clips of when they're having debates between candidates for senators and stuff. And there's people saying things like, they have actually, in this country, created man-cow hybrids. They have done that. And you're like, no. No one's ever done that. What are you talking about? It's just mental. It seems like in America, you can say whatever the fuck you like if it's under the guise of running for office. You could say any mad shit
religion,
you want.
though, as well. Isn't this like this is something I don't understand? Like, no offense to anybody who's got any brain cell will obviously agree with me. But when you've got people who are like, what's it called? Is it the religious belt or something?
The Bible Belt.
Bible Belt, that's it.
Yeah.
Where they're like lunatics. But if you don't get them, you don't get into power, do you, or something? So you have to give it all the religious stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, you don't see that in the UK. Like, nobody gives a shit.
No.
They wouldn't even care if he was... Well, they might care if there was Muslims. Because you've got the ignorant bastards who would be like, terrorists, like you've got everywhere. But I don't care about that. But you don't really see that in our politics.
That was something else, actually, that really made me laugh when there was a story on Have I Got News For You about a woman who had to introduce her party political broadcast in America with, I'm not a witch, because someone on the other side had accused her of being a witch. I mean, what? In this country, if someone was like, she's a witch, the response would be, are you fucking retarded? That would be it. That would be the whole thing. In America, it was actually an issue. Given that witches don't exist, how is that an issue?
I think this might show my ignorance of the American political system, but now correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kiri. Maybe you won't know about it, maybe the chat will. But the president is the commander-in-chief, so he can do things like, let's go to war, right? Which I think is like a constitutional right or something to defend the country. So he could have said, we're going to bomb the shit out of Libya, and we're doing it now, let's fucking go. And they would do it. But instead, he went to Congress and they said no. So then he's like, oh, okay, we won't do it. In my eyes, that is a decision that should always go, you know, like it did in this country. It went into the House of Commons or whatever the hell it is. And they're like, look, we're not doing this, so fuck that. So they didn't do it. But I think our Prime Minister can still say, let's go to war, I think.
Yeah,
but
I think
it has to be legal or something. But again, that's a whole load of shit with, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm not American, so I can't really comment on it. It's like an idiot talking about it. But I think any sort of major decision should be
down to one person.
Shouldn't be one person who just goes, let's fucking do it. Because that's like, what? That is a dictatorship, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how Unit lost his Kerry. You gotta fuck over it. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's weird. But then you could argue it couldn't function. If something drastic was happening, you need somebody to make a decision right away. That's where there's a problem with democracy, isn't there? Because you can't be completely democratic. Because somebody at some point has to make a decision and say, we're doing this right now. It's like communism. What's the old adage where everybody's supposed to be equal, ain't they? But some people are more equal than others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously Stalin was not as equal as peasant fucking Romanov, was he? No. Stalin could have him slammed. So
Stalin could do whatever he liked in the name of communism. It's a good idea, but it never works in practice.
So the president can start a war without congressional approval. But then he needs to get approval after. We're going to war. Can I have approval?
Now that our troops are in the country, do you think you could agree with me? Yeah, okay.
But this is another thing. Do you prefer a world that is with America as a superpower or China, with the way they operate their country?
Well, see, America might be kind of immature as a nation, and they're still a little bit backwards in terms of how far they've come in beliefs. But
we've got pubs in this country older than America.
That is literally true. China is in some ways even worse because they're like an ancient civilization that have been basically just stuck in the modern world. When you look at things like they're like the worst country in the world for like holistic therapy and stuff like that, like alternative medicine, like powdered rhino horn and all that shit. All of that stuff is still just like peasant beliefs that somehow they've managed to carry into being a world superpower. So you've still got people believing that houses are cursed and that ghosts will haunt the graves of your parents if you don't pay them proper homage, and powdered rhino horn will give you 5 sons and all this crap, and it's all complete bollocks, and it's been proved to be complete bollocks by everybody else, but it's still so prevalent that there are entire species of animal that are at risk of being wiped out purely because China wants to sniff their bones, effectively. And that just makes them kind of risky in my eyes. They're just
the thing with
they're
them
not
is they're
quite
too
with it.
controlling,
I don't
ain't
get
they?
it.
Well, they're not fully communist, are they? They're a bit weird. They're like a bit of a mixture, but
they're just a dictatorship, aren't they?
Yeah,
under the
they're very
guise of being
censored.
communist, they're a dictatorship.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be able to talk like this in China. We would be arrested and shot. Well, we wouldn't. We'd put into house arrest, which I wouldn't care because I'm literally under that anyway. But also, I'd have no internet access, so I wouldn't be happy.
That's the important thing.
So, fuck
but yeah,
them.
I don't know. I think I'd America over China, because China's still a dictatorship and it's still ruled by mentals who
the thing
are
is,
intent
for
on staying
us,
in power. But
America speaks English as well, don't it? It's like an English state. China, I cannot understand for the life of me how the hell they even write. I do not understand that. I look at it and I'm like, maybe thousands of years older than our language, but I'm like, I don't know. It's very
that doesn't
lucky.
mean that it makes sense.
It's very lucky, Mr. Kirioff, that our country went around the world slamming and invading and built a fantastical empire.
A fantastic empire.
And did all kinds of bad things in the name of victory, but imposed our language onto everybody. And then, the biggest nation of the last 100 years or so, old America, speaks our language because it is our colony, Mr. Kirioff. Yeah. And if you want to do business,
although they've managed to butcher it beyond belief, but never mind. We'll let them
they're
off.
currently all off, aren't they? In their let's have a government shutdown goodbye.
What is going on? What is that? That is mad.
Illegal. Oh, wow.
That is crazy. I mean, not only that, but the fact that something's shut down because they're government funded, like parks, the park rangers can't go into work. What? Sorry, because the government can't agree a budget, the person who opens the gate hasn't got a job anymore. What is going on there? That's
and also,
mental.
what I don't understand is when they shut the websites down, website offline for NASA, it's like, when you've got a web server, right? They would have paid for electricity. They don't pay by the day, do they? It's not like, yes, our budget, we pay by the day. They would have paid for all of this in advance. So it's like, why is it off? I don't get it. They're crazy.
Oh, hang on. Wait, no, they have to work. They get no pay though.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's bullshit.
No.
What the hell?
Next question, anyway. We just
next question.
This is like the worst political discussion ever. Offended everybody.
Nah, it's fine. It's politics. You can say what you like with politics. Just don't say the word liberal. It's like a dirty word. Liberal. Ugh. Wait, come on. Where's the...
Who the hell is on the questions? Come on, guys.
We're relying on you here, boys. We're relying on you, and you're failing us. We're going to start shooting people. Like a scene in one of them films where you've got the chaps lined up, and what happens?
Numpty, if you have, I can't see it, but people are saying there's been problems with the chat.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
I can't see it, Numpty. Okay, I got a feeling Numpty's just copy and paste them in the order they're in the fucking forum, but I'll let him off.
Mr. Plopples, have you ever been recognised in public?
Once I was recognised in the toilets, but that was it. Yeah, but that was at a gaming event though, so people would know. That was that insomnia. You don't remember? That's the only time.
Nothing to do with Unit Lost. Someone just recognised him in the blog.
Yeah, hello. I think. To be honest though, actually on the Hearthstone stream the other day, we played against some guy who somehow got destroyed by me, but then found the stream to come in and say "fuck you" in your deck. That was quite interesting. I guess that's like found somebody there. You know, I guess
like
little things
it.
like that. I don't know, but don't you remember the guy? What was he called? I bet he's in the chat now. He said he loved the stream. But he sent me a screenshot, didn't he, of his desktop, because I didn't believe him. And there it was, like him playing against me, or his name, or whatever. Yeah. Next question. This is awesome, this music. What is this? Red Alert 3, Soviet theme. See, the music's amazing. But the game, fuck you, man.
If only the game could be as good as the music. But it just isn't. Although I did pick it up in that whatever that bundle was recently.
Oh yeah, I've got
The
it.
cheapo.
I've got all the Command and Conquer games in my Origin account.
Good lord. Oh,
Even
here we
Command and
go.
Conquer 4.
Numpty has supplied the question. Feldenfart, what is your favourite unit loss video and what do you consider is the most important one?
Well,
that's tricky.
We've answered the favourite one before, so we'll skip that. But most important?
I don't know.
I mean, like we said, the machinima one was important, but we didn't need the machinima
Yeah.
one when we did it. Well, actually, we didn't know that, to be honest. We made the video, and then things started to happen, but they were kind of happening before the video was made, but we didn't know they'd go in that direction. So that was an important video. I think, like, I don't really know. You know, that is a really hard question. The most important one.
The Battlefield 3 ones are important.
Okay, so hang
But they
on,
were kind
hang
of
on.
they
No,
were
let's
they were
talk about
important
that.
after
Hang
the
on.
fact though.
Yes, but hang on, they kind of were, because that's what built your computer. So if you
Yeah, that's true.
if you think like I made the Battlefield 3 How Not to Be a Noob guides, and they got featured on Battlefield, which is, you know, obviously quite big, and that made a ton of cash, like especially for such a small thing. And I'm like, whoa, Mr. Kirioff needed a computer, so we built him a computer with that money and had a bit left over, so that was quite good. The first one that was featured on the podcast was the DayZ video we did.
Yeah.
Some of them were... See, this is the problem, right? You can say the videos with the most views are the most important, but sometimes it can be videos, like I said, that when you're editing them, you kind of come up with ideas, or other videos which lead on to other things. Like, you could say Civ's quite... you know, the first time we did a Civ video, that was quite defining, because then that's when we realised, you know, we can do something with this.
Well, arguably
You know,
as
the
well.
first hotfix we made, the first anything.
Dawn of War 2 Retribution. That was like the first series we ever did on the channel. That was like 2 years ago. And that did actually really well for views for when it was made, given the size of the channel at that time. And that kind of provided a good foundation for going back and doing series content again, because it was like,
By
this has worked in the past, let's have a look.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Ploppo. All we did was swear, and you know what? I'll tell you the story behind that clip. So, I didn't know they were going to feature us on it. They didn't tell us. I'm getting loads of messages suddenly. Oh my god, you're on a podcast. This is when the podcast was massively popular. I don't think it's as popular now, but it was really popular. And I'm like, shit. Where? Get to the podcast. And then the podcast ended, right? Because I think they did this towards the... Yeah, they did it towards the end of the clip. Waited for the VOD, watched it back, and it's just full of swearing. Like, that's not representative of the channel. So I'm like, what the hell is this? And also, the way the channel was referred to is just, they do random gameplays or something, they said. I was like, I raged, ladies and gentlemen. Behind the scenes, I raged. I'm like, you ever put us on there again? You tell us. Because I'm not having that. You know, just out of the blue. Thanks for the promotion, but yeah. Rage, ladies and gentlemen. Because that's like, I don't know, it annoyed me. It really annoyed me. But we've been on the podcast a lot of times. In
I
its
think
various forms.
we've been on in terms of featured channel, like featured
Probably the
video
most.
more than any other
Probably, yeah.
channel in the network, as far as I know.
Apart from the guys who actually were on the podcast, I guess.
Well, yeah.
But I think, like, in terms of actually getting on the podcast, any hope of that went down the drain when that idiot guy from the fat guy, what was his name?
What was it? Silver Show Mania.
Yeah,
was
is
it?
it something to do with Underbelly? I'm not sure. But basically, when he was a dick on the stream with his mate, that's sort of just, they put it on lockdown and they only get their chums in. So, I don't know. But still be good
Which
to
is a
get
shame,
on,
really.
Because, I mean, obviously, look at this. You know, we can clearly do it all day long. But yeah, that's a victory, I guess, those videos. But I don't know. You know, like, there isn't just one video. There's a lot of videos that allow us to do stuff. Videos that have, you know, sort of shown us a new direction. Loads. Most likely, the best video is probably one we'll never know about because somebody somewhere has looked at that and thought, oh, I really like this. Let's get these guys into TGS. Maybe that's what that was. You know, we don't know. We really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
let's have the next question then. Community chaps. Whichever one of you decided to do it now.
oh, good news is the Twitch subscription button. I'm just having a look at my email. I have to email the guy at Twitch and he'll sort it out for me. So that's be pretty good. That'll probably be sorted after the stream, easy. Because I know for a fact he'll do it straight away. So that's le pois. Do it, Mr. Kira. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Hang on, I've just been blindsided by the last question. I cannot.
I'll put it on the chat just so that, you know, when this goes to YouTube they can see it. But this guy,
I cannot say
is a pleb.
Le pois whilst
cannot say
reading
le pois.
that. I cannot say it whilst that is on my screen. That is just wrong. I think
Next question.
the answer to that would be he wouldn't. So, next question. Next question, Numpty. Go. Go, Numpty. Next
Someone's
question,
working on
Numpty.
their fan fiction.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Who is a pleb? The guy on the stream is a pleb.
Yoki23, how have you pronounced that? Yeah, you're right, Cabbage McGravel.
Yeah.
Oh, every time. It's such a good name. We get so many good names. Molten Toast Wizard, Cabbage McGravel.
I'm going to add...
Excellent.
I'll tell you what, I'll check forum users. I can see a couple of guys have added themselves to the forum. You're being approved now, but obviously you should have done this before, you plebs.
Baron TV1, what part of the UK do you live in? I'm an East Yorkshire man myself. We are both in the Midlands.
Yeah, we both live quite close to each other. About 15 mile away, if that. Do you reckon?
Which is,
maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know, it's pretty close.
It's
So-
the Midlands. It's the middle.
Yeah.
Not the north, not the south. It is the middle.
The easiest way is to say we live by Birmingham, because we live north
Yes.
of Birmingham. That's the easiest way, because a lot of people, when they ask if they're not from England, they probably know what Birmingham is. Like, when we spoke to the guys in Paris about Shoot Mania, they asked us where we were from, so we told them the place, and they were like, never heard of it. We said, but it's next to Birmingham, and they were like, oh, one of them went, I was at university in Birmingham. So we're by Birmingham. We are pretty close. We're about, I don't know how far away. I mean, I'm closer than you, because you're closer
Yeah.
to Stoke and Manchester. I don't know, not far. About
No
probably
one
about
wants to
20
be close
miles.
to Stoke. Absolutely no one has ever wanted to be close to Stoke.
So in the
Prefers to be
Midlands,
close to Birmingham.
West Midlands, more specifically.
Yes. Next question then, Numpty.
I once went to a wedding in Somerset, and they referred to me as a northerner, and I
I
said,
know, stuff like that pisses
I am
me
not
off.
a northerner. I'm from the Midlands. And they said, but you talk like a northerner. And I said, at least I don't talk like a farmer.
I have to admit, it does get on my nerves, because I've had that before. Where someone has said, I've had it both ways. Oh, so you live in the south or the north. And it's just like, no, I live in the fucking middle of the country. You can tell, because if you look on a map, it's in the middle, you idiot.
There you go.
It's not difficult.
Dully, whatever the hell that name is, has
If
learned
you're
his
in
lesson
World War Two.
and has put the question in the forum and said, if you're in World War II, would you be in the British Navy or the Army? Well, if I was in World War II, they'd call me Spitfire, and I'd be in the Air Force.
As you see, I was going to say exactly the same thing. I knew you were going to do that. Bit of prodigy there.
Indeed.
It'd have to be the Navy, surely.
My granddad was in the Navy. He was on Ark Royal, so I'd be in the Navy. I'd be the,
Well,
I'd be the
actually,
High Lord Super Admiral of the entire Navy, and I would have such amazing tactics like the aircraft carrier ram, where for D-Day, instead of sending landing ships, we would send the aircraft carriers. They would storm the beach. Imagine it. How would they be destroyed? They would land on the beach, a a battleship as well. HMS Victory beaches itself on the Normandy beaches, fucking railing away with its massive cannons, blows the defences to shit. Victory. How many casualties, Mr. High Admiral Stylosa? None. Because we're awesome. That's what would happen.
Why did no one think of that?
Probably because the water's too shallow to get to even close, but it doesn't matter.
No, you get a good head of steam up, you get a good speed up, and you just ram through it.
Get an icebreaker ship, lower it, break the ground.
Yeah, easy. I think my granddad was in the RAF, so I'd probably be in the RAF. Doing what? I'm not sure.
Well, you could be there you go. You could be the High Air Marshal, and I'd be the Admiral. You could have your Spitfires on the aircraft carriers. It rams into the beaches, and they take off. Yeah.
Wait, it like catapults them into the air. It stops so suddenly they just fly upwards on little ramps. That'd be amazing. Good lord.
So hopefully that answered that.
Next question. Put pontoons on the aircraft carriers, Mr. Popple, so they don't fall over. Molten Toast Wizard says ramming speed. Perhaps today is a good day to die. Prepare for ramming speed. Worf, what a legend. I believe he was going to ram a Borg cube.
With the Defiant as well. The shit.
With the Defiant.
Well, not the shittest, but the smallest shit.
But it had the best.
Weapons,
best.
didn't it?
What is it? Power core? Not power core. Warp core. Yeah.
Yeah, but hang on. The Enterprise had quantum torpedoes, didn't it, as well? The Enterprise was probably better. Yeah, the
Enterprise was unnecessarily stuffed with weaponry, even though it was a vessel of peace. Whereas the Defiant was like a fraction of the size, but had a bigger warp core. Because why not? Why I know this, I don't know. Well, I do know this because I've watched the Star Trek films, which are terrible. The old ones, not the new ones, which are quite good. Numpty, whatever fits. So, what do you guys think of the whole esports scene and how it's growing? It's good. That's pretty much. I don't know. It's hard to say anything other than it's really good, because as long as esports grows, we're going to get more in the way of being able to watch games that we like played by people who are actually good at playing them. I mean, the League of Legends Worlds was absolutely mental. And that's what we think of esports. In the chat, you can click that.
That is a test site. But what the idea behind that is, I mean, that's not officially announced yet, but there'll be videos and stuff. The idea behind that is Van Draven is a esports madman, and he has offered to run a team for us, which would be a case of like grassroots gaming, not professional gamers, but we'd be looking at people who want to get better at games, get teams together, have official unit loss representation. We could enter smaller competitions and stuff, but that's basically what I think esports is great. I mean, my favourite esports is StarCraft, right, by a mile, but it's obviously not something which is going to be massive. It never will be. I don't think it'll get any bigger than it is. It'll just get smaller. Look at League of Legends. That Worlds final that went off on Saturday. I never watched it because it was at 4 a.m. in the morning. That was disgusting timing. I could watch a VOD, yeah. But the thing is, they are so massive. I mean, what did they have? Like 6 million viewers worldwide?
Yeah.
StarCraft 2 stream gets 100,000 if it's really lucky. And even then, it don't really get that. It's 80,000, doesn't it? So, to me, I'm more of a StarCraft player. Well, not player, but watcher these days. But I can appreciate what League of Legends is doing. Dota 2, you know what, actually? When I watched the Invitational, Dota 2, that was quite impressive. I especially like the casters for that as well.
Yeah, I think for me, League of Legends has got the best atmosphere, and I think the way the casters handle themselves and the way that they interact with each other are really good. But I think watching Dota 2 from home is the best experience because you're able to do it through the client, and there's loads of different stats you can look at, and you can really, you can properly mess with it. You can sit there and look at whatever you want to look at any given time, which is just not an option for League of Legends. I think if League of Legends could do that, it would be pretty much the perfect esport at this point. But I think it's still, hopefully they will get themselves to the point where they're offering the same in the way of features that Dota 2 does. But League of Legends has got the best atmosphere for me, but Dota 2 has got the best viewing experience. If we could combine the two and sort of make it so that other companies start trying to push it the same way that those two companies are doing, Riot and Valve, then that would be amazing. But it's going to be hard to topple League of Legends now because they're quite up there at this point.
Yeah, second sin, I agree. WCS is pretty atrocious for the scene. I mean, I don't mind it, but I don't like the way that the Koreans can just enter every single division, because then all they do is, you know, they're going to do this, get behind the scenes and just say, I'm going to put MC into Europe, SK say, and then Acer say, well, MMA's going to go over here. Well, I know MMA's in Europe, but he's going to go over here. So they just spread out, win all the divisions, get through into the finals, and then you're left with, Naniwa, I think was the only well, they call them foreigners, which is quite funny, but the only non-Korean player there. Everybody else was Korean, I think. Well, okay, that's game in the system, but it's not very good. And also, if I'm totally honest, there's too much of it. It's on all the time. And I'm getting saturated to shit with it. Before, I used to enjoy watching the tournaments like DreamHack. I still do. But there's just too much of it. I don't know. LOL. I quite like you know what? I like the way LOL. I like the way Riot does the World Series thing, where they've got the teams. They pay the teams wages. The teams all turn up, and they fucking take part in the competition. The way they've got the divisions, which are obviously the divisions. It's not a fucking Korean team, is there, in North America?
Yeah.
Is there? I don't think there is
No.
there?
No. It's separated into EU, NA, and the Korean teams are playing because I think it's licensed. As far as I know, it's licensed for China and Korea. So they've got OGN, which is like their sort of version of the League of Legends Championship Series, which happens in Europe and North America. But it does mean that they're all separated until Worlds. And so, admittedly with Worlds, it is kind of a bit of, well, probably China or Korea will win because they're just ridiculously better in some cases.
Well,
but
you know what?
The rest of the time you've got balanced competitions, it's not too bad.
The thing is, the reason why Korea, or South Korea, obviously not North Korea, but South Korea are as good as they are at esports is because it is treated like a sport. They actually train, and they have training schedules, and they train. Okay, I know European teams do this, and they're starting to do it, but if you look at football and the way that developed, I'm talking about soccer if you're American, but football, that just used to be, they would train together as a team, and that's fine. But look how that's developed. It's like the dietary needs of the players. It's all specifically tailored. Everything is monitored. When you go down to the details, you start making better athletes, you start making better teams, and then the teams get better. Right? I firmly believe you can take anybody, right? Unless you're a complete clampit and say, like, let's say me, I'm going to take myself, well, somebody's going to take me and turn me into a League of Legends pro gamer. I honestly think they could do that. I'm not saying I'll be the best, but I think I could be within that top percentage. Look at football players. You've got a lot of players who have, technically don't have a lot of skill, but they're very fit. They may understand the game. They can get to a level where they're playing at the highest level. They're not the best players, but they're playing at the highest level. And I think Korea does that with its esports. And I think that's why they have got a lot of players to pick from. The average player is a lot better than the average player of other continents. That's not to say, because there are some really good European players, Like I said, with the StarCraft example, Naniwa is a really good player. He's a bit of a knobhead, but he's a really good player, and he can take on the Koreans. He went to Korea and trained with them, but what I'm saying is there are exceptions, but overall, the quality of player is better. So you've got an average higher quality of player. Again with the football comparison, the Premier League in England is the best league in the world. Okay, the German league's rising. The Spanish league is like whatever. It's only really got 3 teams in it, but the Premier League is the best league because the teams are not. It's not like the Scottish league where Celtic is infinitely better than everybody else in their division because Rangers went bankrupt. So they're just. But there was only ever 2 teams there. Yeah. English Premier League, you've got Man United, you've got Chelsea, you've got Arsenal, you've got Spurs, you've got Man City, you've got Liverpool now. There's 6 teams there, and you can play a team that's in the bottom half and get beat by them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's what's going on with esports. I think because they just got a better infrastructure for it. They're just better at it. They've done it for longer.
With any luck, as it grows in popularity over here and in America, the teams will start to be taken more seriously. They'll start to behave more seriously in the way that they take
ways, though,
the training and stuff.
Think about this. A lot of the look at EG. They're a good example. They want to be celebrities. I see Snoopy all over the place. Where the fuck's EG in the world? In the bin, but he's on everything. You know, it's a different type of thing where they're becoming celebrities and obviously making a lot of advertising money off that. Whereas the Koreans are just players. So
yeah,
I don't know, but I think that's a cultural difference because obviously he's Scottish, you know. But like as far as Americans go towards that, they're more attuned into that type of advertising type of thing. I think.
It's not a problem for them to support a team that they know aren't that good because it's a team they've been exposed to the most, whereas Korea is much more focused on supporting
TSM.
the team that they know to be the
TSM?
best.
You know, they're not very good, really, are they, at the game?
They used to be fantastic, and they've just got worse and worse and worse.
But
They've never
when
caught
were they
up
fantastic? Before certain country turned up, was they?
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And other teams are like, you know, if I was managing an esports team, I'd be like, I want to know how this team train. I want to know what they do. Like a Korean team, SK, he fucking smashed what's her face in the final 3-0. Massive spoiler there if you want that. SK Telecom isn't 6 months old.
They've changed.
Because Flash is part of them. He's been part of them for years with StarCraft. Oh, maybe the LoL team. Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah, the LoL team is. Yeah, the LoL team is. Also, they're a lot more ruthless as well in Korea when it comes to the teams.
What's the deal in
because
football? You don't perform, you don't play, fuck off.
Yeah, that's how it works in Korea. If you don't win, then you can just if you shit, then you leave. That's it. There's no two ways about it. They switch people out all the bloody time. I find it really difficult to keep up with the Korean team for LoL because they just smash out anyone. You know, if you completely fuck up, you leave. Whereas, I mean, CLG had God damn it, I've forgotten his name. The guy who started it, whose name I just cannot remember now. But he was not very good for ages. Might be a good team manager, but he wasn't a very good player for quite a long time. But he just left himself in. He just carried on. It was, well, you're taking the team down, but okay, carry on. Well, he did.
Sorry, maybe I am being a little bit harsh on TSM, as the chat said, but the thing is, like Kiri just said, which has just opened my eyes to it, I think a lot of these teams started as friends playing the game, not as a team.
Hot shot GG, that's it. Cheers, Fel.
So,
I don't know why, I just completely
imagine if I got together with Kiri and a couple of other guys from Unit Lost, we started a team. We're in the LoL World Finals, but I'm doing really shit. But because they see me as the leader or whatever, or they don't want to say anything to me because it's like my team, I'm selling. I've got 10 quid in my hand as well. It's like, what's the money of Unit Lost? All
of the money.
Yeah, so you know, I think they suffer from that. Whereas like a proper team doesn't give a shit because the management is not part of the team. The management runs the team. The team doesn't get results. The management sort them out. A good manager is a proactive manager.
Not that word. I hate the word proactive.
Next question.
Next, come on, give us it. Plex, we already covered that. We're not talking about the StarCraft 2 team. We're talking about League of Legends. Never mind. Next question. Epic Source 4000. Here's a question. What was your biggest rage and why?
Go on then, Mr. Kiri, you can answer this.
I don't know. I think that video we made of League of Legends Duo Q was pretty rage-inducing for both of us.
The stream of it was. I mean, Mr. Kiriov's got a history of rage, hasn't he?
No, I'm perfectly calm. I'm
that
nice.
headset, that nice Fnatic headset.
You know what? You say that, but it had a serious design flaw. For all the money that you spend on that headset, the fact that the clip that holds part of the ear cannon is made of flimsy plastic, not a good design. That's a bad design. Even if I hadn't slammed it down, you could easily just like take it off and hold it wrong and break it. So, I mean, admittedly, yeah, it was largely because I threw it at the desk, but it could have been any number of other things. I could have just taken it off and it would have broke. That's just how it is. Would not recommend. Sound quality was nice though. Better than this headset, but I can't use it anymore because it's broke. Oh.
I was just checking the stream because people were saying it's lagging. It's not for me. Probably just a Twitch load problem. I don't know. Who knows? Rage quit for me. Rage moments. I don't know. I rage sometimes, but I'm not like. It's usually when I lose. Like if I, like honestly, remember when I streamed a lot of StarCraft in the past, right, ladies and gentlemen? I used to get quite pissed, and you'd see me get quite pissed on the stream when I lost. But I'm getting angry with myself because I think getting angry at somebody else is pointless because you fucked yourself basically. Unless somebody's chip, then you're like, you bastard. But like in LoL, if I played that and I'm mid and I'm like Lux and I'm against somebody like a LeBlanc or somebody who's like a counter to her, or like Fizz or somebody, some people would go, oh fucking hell, you fucked, it's all over. But I'd be thinking, no, I'll try and win. You know, I'll try my best. And it's like, if I did die, how did I die? Why did I die? How can I get better? Like, so I'm kind of like that. I don't really rage at people, I don't think anyway. Maybe I do and I just don't know. But I do rage at myself. I'm like, I should have done that better. Like Hearthstone as well, I'll rage at that. Fucking hell, I just shouldn't have done that. Why have I done that?
Weirdly, a lot of the time, I'm. It's only if I do like a colossal fuck up that causes everything to go wrong that I get properly angry. Quite often, if I make a mistake, I'm just like, well, that was stupid. Anyway, and just carry on.
If
I don't tend to
blames
get
everyone else, or Kiri does, then rages like a melon. And then goes on about, oh, the biggest flaw with my headset was the fucking moment it met the floor and smashed. Because you lost.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that, you scumbag. How dare you?
I'm an American politician. Mr. Kirillov is a vagabond and a scallywag.
Because Americans always say that, don't they?
And I shall leaflet drop the entire country with this. He's scallywag. He's an untrustworthy toe rag. That's what he is, a little toe rag.
You are unscrupulous. Come on, let's have the next question. There seems to be some argument about what to call genres as well. Never mind. Off we go. Famoose. I am half Italian and half Scottish. Do I count as semi-British or even British?
Well, Scotland don't want to be part of us anymore. So,
No.
you count as nothing, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid, yeah. There's nothing else to it for Moose. Sorry, son. Next question, Dumpty. What? Oh, sorry,
Oh, no.
I completely misread that.
Not this way again.
I totally misread that. I was about to tell Mr. Uiki 23 to go fuck himself, but that's because I misread it.
What?
Well, the question is, Uiki 23, how have you pronounced that? What's the most surreal experience you guys have had while doing Unit Lost? And I misread it. I thought he was carrying on with his previous line of inquiry, and I thought it was, what's the most sexual experience you guys have had? And I was like, you can fuck off.
Well,
But no, what's the most surreal experience?
here's something that's surreal. We're talking to our webcams and microphone to each other with like 100 people in the chat channel.
Yeah.
You know what the
that's
most
kind of
surreal
weird.
thing for me is? The fact that like 6.2 million people have heard my voice. I am literally
Yeah,
the most
that-
famous person in my family ever.
Yeah. That we are the most famous people I know, which is weird. I don't. What? Also, people. Something else that's surreal, nice but surreal, is that people will just give us things. Now, I don't know whether it's because I'm just like tight or something, but it's not often I would just say to someone, "Here you go, have a game."
Yes, no,
I've never
that
really-
is good. Yeah, yeah, because
I've never really done that.
That's like donations as well. You know what, right? Every time I receive a donation, it literally blows my mind because it's like somebody has gone out and whatever they do for a living, they've earned money and they've gone, have some money. And it's like, it's crazy.
It's weird. I mean, it's nice, but it's still like, that person likes. They've never met me, but they like me enough to give me this. Okay.
And also,
great.
a lot of people will know us, but we don't actually know them, which is really strange. You know, like
Yeah,
imagine
that is actually kind
people
of.
are like, oh, I know you. What? What? Okay.
Like I've had people say to me on Steam things like, "Has the cat attacked you recently?" And if every time someone makes a comment about something that we've talked about in a video that isn't related to games, if it's just something we've said in like a vlog or on a stream or something, for a minute there, I'm like, "What? How do they know what the hell?" And then I realise, oh yeah, it's because I did talk about that at one point. But it's like it's a detail of my life that you would only know by speaking to me. Except you haven't spoken to me really. I've spoken to you, but I've read what you've said, which is different. You know, it's not the same as like a face-to-face conversation. So that can get a bit weird. That, and we entrust a group of people to read what we say and look after the chat, and we've never met them. That's kind of surreal as well. But we like them, we trust them, and we know where they live, and we know the details. We know names, we know addresses, we know families.
Next question.
Just saying, chaps. Just saying, not.
We wait with bated breath.
Numpty, you could not be a psycho killer.
Numpty, don't make me laugh. Oh, yeah. Carry off. Just tell them about Freelancer and then what you expect you'll be doing in
Red Crayon, have you guys? Red Crayon, have you guys taken a look at Star Citizen? What do you think? I used to play Freelancer quite a lot. I liked it.
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot. I played it for quite a while. So when Star Citizen comes out, you will never see me again.
I played it.
Basically,
what I meant to say was I played it for 3 years, 12 hours a day.
It was longer than that.
4 years, 12 hours a day.
Hang on, let me see when it came out.
5 years, 12 hours. 5 years, 18 hours a day.
It was quite a long time. When did it come out?
How's he
Can't see, I'm blind.
What is this? So he played like the day it came out? Oh,
March 4th, 2003.
And he played until 2012.
I did buy it on release. No, not 2012. When did we start playing LOL? That was like 2008, wasn't it?
Then that's still quite bad. 7 years. It's like worse than WoW. His addiction.
What? 2003 to 2008 is 7 years. What? 5 years. I only played Freelancer for 5 years.
But 18 hours a day, though. I mean, fucking hell.
It was only 10. Don't get excessive.
But yeah, Star Citizen, I think it promises a lot. And it keeps promising a lot because of the way it's designed to be funded. Now, there's a problem with this, because if you keep endlessly promising stuff and saying, give us more money, we'll do this, and then we'll do this and we'll do this, and you give all that money to a load of creative people, they'll just keep doing that until it's absolutely perfect. Without a publisher or some sort of guiding light going, at this date we're going to do this, and it has to be done at this date, I think they could possibly struggle to meet certain deadlines if they have them. I know they don't, not publicly. So it could take a long time for things to happen. I do think it's a good idea the way they drip feed the content, where we've got the, you know, and really drip feed it. We've got the hangar you can walk around in. But
Which looks quality, by the way.
Yeah, but I think the problem is, like I said, you give 20 million to people and say, make the best thing I've ever seen in my life. They just keep doing that endlessly. And it takes a long time for stuff to come out. But the concept is amazing. It's like something which is a really good idea. You know, I can see things in my mind's eye of like a massive unit lost cruiser with people crewing it, you know, and Kirioth fucking fighter escort up the side of it. And then we're off
doing
to go
boarding
do
actions and stuff.
Well, the ship's blowing up, so we're just going to have to ram. I'm afraid the ship that we spent a year building, it's going down in flames, but we're fucking taking these wankers out with us, at which point we just crash into some sort of enemy cruiser and blow it up. You know,
I'd really love to steal a ship as well. Like a unit lost hit squad, the way we just go out and steal someone's frigate and then nick it. That would be amazing. I mean, if all that kind of thing is in that game, I'm going to have to be very disciplined, otherwise I'll just disappear. It would be impossible to do anything but play it.
But Molten, I do agree. Well, I kind of agree. Thing is, they don't have to spend much on marketing, because they sort of marketed it already, kind of. So really, for 20 million, you can hire a shitload of programmers for that and designers and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. It is a bit low. But, you know, when you look at games like Grand Theft Auto with fucking God knows how much they spent on advertising alone, and then all the development costs, it is astronomical, but, you know, like I said, a lot on advertising. So I don't know. Like, these guys don't really have to advertise if you think about it. They've already made their money. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, they will make money off the free-to-play aspect and all that stuff, but...
I still can't work out how $130 million got spent on GTA 5. I'm going to be honest, it does not look like $130 million to me. But if marketing is included in that, then given the sheer amount of hype and everything
marketing was even
up,
more than that, you know.
Jesus
I've
Christ.
seen things of like 200, 300 million in marketing. I mean, look at Call of Duty. The development costs for that are probably nothing. Copy-paste. Copy-paste that! And then we're going to...
Wasn't there a building in Call of Duty Black Ops that was exactly the same as Modern Warfare or something?
Yeah. It's like we've waited like 4 years. We can probably use... You can imagine around the table. You know what, guys? They've got the GG button, right? The boss man. And he's like, you know what, guys? It's been like 4 years. I bet we can reuse that asset we used before. And they're like, you think, boss? And he's like... And they do it. Oh, so 265 million for everything they're saying in the chat. Maybe we're a bit off, but still, that's a lot. Right, next question. Oh,
that's the thing. How much did the music cost in GTA 5?
Yeah.
Dear God.
Does add to it though. Really does add to it, but.
Slam Jam 601. Would you guys consider to make a Dota 2 team made up of the Unit Lost community? Well, we've already kind of answered that with the whole.
But that's different.
Team Unit Lost Esports.
But that's different.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the thing with that is not anybody and everybody turns up. That is players who actually play the game at a certain level. Like, if you use StarCraft as an example, it would be like high diamond players, low masters, that type of player, not just some cabbage in the fucking bronze league. But in terms of like a community team, we've already got them. But we did have an active Dota 2 community for a while. I think one of the problems with like getting people into a community, because I bet there's people out there who would love to play together, is actually getting them together without making a video on the channel saying we're playing Dota 2, come and play with us. Because what tends to happen is people will play the games we're playing and then forget. Like Numpty said earlier about World of Warcraft. Yeah, it'd be funny. You know, we've all got free 7-day trials, but what happens if we don't bother playing it again? The guild that's there will collapse. It's like the guild, unless we're big enough to support it. Like Unit Lost isn't big enough, doesn't have a big enough fan base to say we can have 30, 40 people playing that game constantly without Stylosa and Kiri promoting it all the time. So
I mean, the important thing, if you want to set up a Dota 2 community team or a League of Legends community team, then go to the forums and say, I would like to set up a team. Find other people who want to do it as well. You know, it's just, there's nothing... We don't have to be personally involved for you guys in the community to do something that you want to do. You know, you don't need our blessing or anything. It's like, if you want to sort of, not advertise Unit Lost, but show that you're members of the Unit Lost community and make a team in the name of Unit Lost, then it's unlikely we're going to turn around and tell you to stop it, because one of the whole things about Unit Lost is that, you know, it's a community. We like the fact that you guys, you know, can do stuff together, and that we've brought all these people together to play games together. So, see you later, Plex. So, yeah, if you want to start a Dota 2 community team, then by all means, knock yourself out. Start one. Next question, Numpty. And there's Tin Tink has suggested, just don't be a dick.
True.
That's...
Not this guy again. Numpty, you trolling me, man.
What sort of questions do you guys despise having to answer? Retarded
One's
questions.
Off you, you pleb. Next.
Next question.
The Queen's eyes are staring me down.
That is scary, that background. Belfo, have any of you thought of casting Esports? League SC2, for example.
Did in the past, so it's the channel. So, we did StarCraft 2. Like, in fact, this was like one of the first kind of things we did on the channel because I was really into it, and I'm like, hey, this looks quite good. I actually did a Total Biscuit did a tournament, and I was a shoutcaster for it, and you were as well, weren't you? I think we was
UK University Team League, wasn't it?
Yeah. So actually, for a Total Biscuit sponsored competition, we were the shoutcasters for it. So yeah,
that was quite a few years ago, though.
Oh yeah,
2 years, I believe.
It was in.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah, it's the start of StarCraft 2. But yeah, we did that. So there was some talk of doing like League of Legends casting at one point. But I don't know. Like the thing is, like if you're going to cast a game, you've got to be playing the game all the time. A problem, but it's not a problem, but just the way I am. I play a lot of games. I mean, like today, I've played Battlefield 4, Dark Souls, and I've played Hearthstone. I've played Civ, not in the same day, but like a week. I played Bolgar terribly, but only for a few minutes. I've played loads of stuff. So, I play a lot of games. I'm not really like a one game. Like I don't know. I tell you what, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would be a one or two game person. I would probably be playing StarCraft 2 until I got bored of it. I may even have stretched myself to something like a MOBA, like LOL, because I kind of did in the past. But yeah, I'm not. I do unit loss, so we do a lot of games, so I get to see a lot of stuff.
I'm going blind. Do we have another question, old Numpo? I might have to put my glasses on a minute. I can't. I'm trying to read the chat, see what people are saying. Like an old man. Jaquirity. I think that's how we decided that was pronounced.
But usually with a 5 in front.
With a 5, yeah.
Bastard.
What's the most cabbage comment you've received on a unit loss video? And conversely, what is the most satisfying / gratifying comment you've received? That honestly, the number of cabbage comments that appear on YouTube makes it very difficult to select a winner.
I've got one. Yeah, there is. But I've got one from Physio
Where's
Games.
This guy?
Hang on.
Uko23.
Yeah. But he's not on YouTube, not yet. Or is he?
That's true.
Visio Games commented on one of the videos I made of a horror game, if I remember rightly, about a nuclear reactor in the United States. And I was playing it, and I'm literally not scared. And they commented with something stupid, like, you are not playing the game properly, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, hang on, this is a big channel, isn't it? And it is. It's like, it would be like Machinima commenting on your video. It's not a channel, they don't make content themselves. It's just some dick who's doing the comments like, and I'm like, what? That was a weird comment. But
yeah,
the best one has to be, like Hal said, suck dud. Because that was actually a feature of Cabbage comments. But in Cabbage comments, like, that is a good idea, but it did work. I did like it. It did kind of work, but it's a bit like the people
it felt
on
a little
the
bit
YouTube
like
channel.
cyberbullying.
Yeah, and just slamming people for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, because
it kind of. I mean, I realised that in some cases it was like, this is so stupid that it needs to be highlighted. But on the other hand, it's like, what if they'd said that because they're not right in the head or something? I don't know. It's like, it just felt a bit
right
harsh.
in the head, son.
It just felt a bit harsh at times.
Yeah, it did. And we're not like that. Because at the end of the day, unit loss is about entertainment. We make videos to make people laugh and show people games and stuff. So we don't want to make videos where we're just abusing people for no reason, because we can leave that for live
sit there slagging people off.
We can call people plebs and all kinds of stuff.
Shall we have another question, please? Will the Q&A go on YouTube? Yes, it will go on YouTube.
Yeah, it will. It might be in two parts, though.
There is another Q&A on YouTube as well, actually. Which was, once again, a live job. Four hours long, that one, that's already on the channel, so you could knock yourself out with that. Good lord.
It'd be quite interesting to compare what we say to what we've said now. Because I bet you we've changed some opinions of stuff. Maybe.
If someone wants to go and watch both.
We'll take questions from the chat then. spam it away, and if I see any ones of worth, I'll paste them in, and Mr. Kirioff can start reading away. But I mean, I you know, like I said, I don't mind answering any questions about anything. You know, I'd expect to get more questions about YouTube, because generally you get the people who want to know what the hell's going on with YouTube and stuff like that, because it is a bit
Traditionally,
secretive.
the answer is it's broken.
Yeah. Baron, you're a soldier.
Good man, Baron. We could win the international, but unfortunately we're too busy.
I was actually in training for the international with Mr.
Yeah,
Kirioff.
we do. Yeah.
Possibly made a video.
In fact, I'll even paste in the video for you to watch later.
Alright. Here's a question about a computer build. It is.
There we go.
I can't paste it. What?
As Curry Muncher...
I'm sorry, I've lost it. I don't know what's happened to it.
No, it's okay, Cal. People can put questions in
Cal, we just said
chat
people
now.
can put... I tell you what, Cal is a fucking madman. If anybody's a rage channel, it's him.
He's off his trolley.
Where was... Oh, the comment's gone, so I can't do it. I'm sorry, but
No.
I think it was £600
Okay.
computer. I'm not sure, you know. Well, component-wise, I would say you could probably easily afford 8 gig of RAM. You could get a i5. You don't need a better CPU than an i5, not at the moment. If somebody tells you need an i7, they're off the face. Possibly, well, you do, maybe for the Battlefield 4 beta on Ultra, but because it's not very well optimised. Same with PlanetSide 2, but it's not very well optimised. Usually, an i5 is more than good enough. As for graphics cards, well, I haven't looked at graphics cards for, a couple of months, which is basically forever. I think 7990s, the ATI cards are the fastest, but you would not be able to afford one of them. That would be 600 quid for the card alone, probably more. Titans are also obviously very fast, but I don't think they're as fast as the 7990. I could be wrong with this, because like I said, I haven't. There's just bits and pieces I've picked up here and there off news websites, but
yeah,
you know, whatever the mid-range cards are now, do fine. I mean, my 7950 is like 150 quid now. You know, I paid like 230 quid for that. That'll play every game easily. An i5, another 150. There's 300 quid. You don't need a super good motherboard, just get a budget one. Get some RAM, get an hard drive. Well, make sure the hard drive's an SSD, and then maybe a storage drive.
kind of tricky with that because hardware moves so bloody quickly.
Well, I don't keep on top of it because I don't have to, but when I do, like maybe I'll need upgrades at some point. But it's kind of a thing with, like, when you look at games and the free-to-play games and the indie games, they don't need powerful systems, so the longevity, the life of a system is massively increased. And also consoles are so shit at the moment, and the consoles that are coming out are not even as powerful as my computer really at the moment, so
makes it really
AMD
irritating.
systems can be fine. It just depends, you know, what CPU
Depends
you
what
go
you're
for.
planning to, and it kind of depends on what you're going to do with it as well, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah,
What
no,
else?
that's right. I put that in the forums more than just ask me because I'm not, like I said, I'm not on top of it.
Yeah, you'll get some good info out of the guys on the forum. So
Well, Baron, I'm not sure whether that's true. It used to be faster than that, but you look at plebs with like dual Titans and like the fastest i7 you can get. What are they doing with it? Beyond going, shit me, I'm getting 500 FPS in some fucking game. Great. There like comes a point where it's pointless. Like things like Crossfire, I'm a bit of a firm believer where that is a bit pointless. That is like, yeah, look at me, I've got Crossfire, I've got SLI, but why? You know, you've spent double the price for like a meager increase in performance, and most of the time, this is a thing people forget about because they get dazzled by numbers. And I'm a pleb for this. Is the games they want to play actually don't support it, or don't support it very well. You know, I like PlanetSide 2. Well, I like Planet. I still do like PlanetSide 2, but I was really looking forward to that last year. The games simply run way better on an Nvidia card, but I had an ATI card, so I had to suffer this totally shit performance, even though my card, performance-wise, was the fastest you could get at that price point at the time.
yeah,
But if I had the Nvidia card, I would have had a much better experience with the game. You know, so that was literally what made me upgrade my graphics card, because I thought, shit, we're going to be at a point now where I need a better graphics card. Did I? Well, obviously play the game, graphically more superior than I could with my older card, but
it kind of gets irritating as well with hardware because it changes so quickly, and there's so many different benchmarks, and it depends on what you're going to do with the computer, and something might be better for encoding than for gaming, or you might spend so much on a certain graphics card and then find that the game doesn't work as well with it. It's never going to be as easy as buying a console, but the upside is that generally speaking you do get massively better performance for anything you choose to do if you build it yourself and you have a computer, not a console.
So, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to get a PlayStation 4 and start doing content for that, because there are a lot of games on the consoles. There are a lot of shit games, but there's some good games, and games which I think it would benefit me if I actually played. You know, you can say things like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that. I'm never going to play that game, but I don't want to buy into a console generation at the end of the console generation. Well, I say buy into it, that's not right, but make content on it, because what's the point? But PlayStation 4, I'm not really interested in Xbox One, but PlayStation 4 could start making content on that and see what it's about. At least I'm there from the beginning. You know, you get me? Like, I'm not some dribbler who's just come along. So I can say, a few years down the line, you know, I'm sort of with that. You know, because at the end of the day, you can call yourself a PC gamer, you can call yourself this, but everybody's, you know, you're a gamer. You need to experience other things, and it's something I've been a bit shit at in the past, where I would just dismiss things because it's like, that's a console game, I don't care. Fuck you, man. I mean, even now, I'm like, Zelda, Wind Waker, HD, you having a laugh? Might be a good game. I've never played it. But I was sitting going, that's shit. You know, but hang on, you've never played it. So, you know, there's a lot of that going on, and I think, I guess that's maturing as a gamer. So I'm learning to appreciate everything. So
the thing is, I've still got no interest in playing Zelda.
No, neither have I.
I think I'm allergic. I just don't want to know.
So the next question we got is, Curious told us about his Fiat Punto Chavmobile, but what cars has Sty owned, and what car-related mishaps has he had? I've only had one. Mr. Kirioff was there for that.
Which one was that?
Which one? In the car park.
I don't remember this.
No, maybe I've had two, actually. I know which one you can remember. I can... Red light one.
You say
is that
that?
what you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but no, we don't talk about that one. We talk about the other one first.
That wasn't in a car park, though. That's what you confused me.
Yes, but...
Oh, no, wait, no, there was. I can think of at least two, then. Yeah, I can think of one in a car park, one at a red light.
Yeah, that's it.
Is there another one?
No, that is it. I've never had no other incidents at all. I swear down.
Didn't your wheel nearly fall off once, though?
Yeah, but that wasn't like a... Well, I'll tell you about that. So, I had my... I think they call it balancing or something, I don't know. But basically, when I was driving at high speeds, my steering wheel would... Like, the tracking was off, I think. Would, like, vibrate. So I took it into ATS, which is a garage, and said, so this is wrong. And they were like, okay, well, we'll just balance the wheel, rebalance the wheels or something. That'll do it. I'm like, okay. So the guy takes the wheel off, puts the wheel back on. I drive away. All is fine. There's no shake. But then, I start hearing a knocking in the car. Driving down... it's past Shrubber Hall, which is like a stately home. And it's like, you know, a national speed limit. So like 60 mile an hour road with trees and shit. And no barriers. You go into a tree. It ain't a normal... It's like an oak tree. You're dead, right? You die. I'm driving along, and it's just like knocking sound. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Well, I get home, right? After the side of the car is like fucking shaking, because I think I'd been to see Kiri in the day, and I dropped him off at his house. This was like on the way home, because even you could hear the knocking, couldn't you? We heard it a little bit, and we were like, what's that? Like maybe something's just stuck in the wheel arch or something. But then I got home, looked at the wheel, and it was like this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So took the wheel off, and it turns out the guy who had put the it's used like the pneumatic drill, but the thing to put the, you know, the bolts back on the wheel, had over tightened. I think there was 5 bolts in there. Over tightened 4 of them and snapped them all, and there was just one, and it was completely almost shredded in half. The fucking wheel would have fell off. I was like,
yep. I remember you like calling me and saying this has happened, and I was like, what the fuck? You're lucky you didn't die. Because if on that road, if the wheel had come off, Jesus Christ, that would
I'd
have
be
been
dead.
bad.
Because I was doing like 60,
That
I
would
would
have been-
have just lost the wheel of the car and went into a tree or something. See you later,
So
Green.
lucky that.
But-
See you later, Green Lemonade.
That was bad.
Yeah,
The other
that is
incidents, what was the other incident? Oh no, let me
Well,
tell you
there was-
Oh, go on, whatever. Whatever.
Well, you nearly ran someone over. That's an exaggeration. You didn't.
No, I
you,
didn't.
you might have done.
No, I didn't.
from-
I didn't. Because they crossed the road. But I
Yeah,
was
that's
angry.
true. They were
was
already
just
across. But you yelled at them because we got to a pedestrian crossing and they crossed, and you screamed, "It's red, love," and then drove
I
through the
never
red
screamed
light.
that. It's fucking red, you bitch.
Oh, that was it. But that was.
And then he's like,
That was
yeah, red means
interesting.
stop. And I'm like, what?
She looked a bit shocked. I'm not that surprised.
So
She was
next
fine though. She got away with her life.
In the last one, it was. This is quite funny, ladies and gentlemen. This is a tale of like subterfuge. 007 would be proud of this. So, you park in a car park. I think it was like a Fiat 500. No, it couldn't have been. They don't think they were around at that point. Well, obviously they were the old one, but not the new ones. It was a small car. I think it was a smart car, actually, wasn't it? Might
It
have
was
been.
a smart car.
So, this car park is like in the middle of the town. Everybody needs to park there, yeah? I couldn't find a space, so I'm driving around. I'd only just passed my driving test as well. So I'm driving around. And a space opens up, kind of like a double space, and I go to drive in. Like I'm like trying to position myself to get in, and this smart car drives down the side and parks in the other space, right? Like as I'm like manoeuvring in, sort of thing, to my space. And because I wasn't, well, I don't know if it was about judging distances or whether I really was skipping, I can't remember. But it left the gap really short, so I'm trying to really get round as like close as I can. And the car next to me, I think it was a Nissan Micra. The trim on this was a Peugeot 306, by the way, so it wasn't like an amazing car. It was like, you know, a typical first car thing. The plastic trim, got caught under the wheel arch, like I was that close, and it ripped the trim all off. Right, didn't damage the other car because it was like inside the wheel arch. We even checked, didn't we? Because I was like, shit, I've damaged the car, but I had it.
Yeah.
I damaged my own car. Right, ripped the fucking the plastic off, and I'm like, shit. But we were fucked because we had to go to a lesson, and there was no other spaces. So, what do I do? Well, we just got to go for it. Just as we get out the car, right? Because this woman next to us would not have known there was if it was a woman, whoever the hell it was. I think it was. It was like a granny Micra. Would never know there was any damage because there was no damage to a car. Right? It was just damage on mine. This old man comes over with his wife and says, "Excuse me, son." You know, like a typical old man. You're going to leave a note there saying you've done damage. I said, "I've done no damage," and he's like, "I think you have, son." I'm like, "I've done no damage to the car." And it was getting a little bit heated. And I think this old guy probably thought, "You little wanker, I'm going to fucking have you." So we went into lessons, didn't we? I think it was programming we went into.
Yeah.
Now in the lesson, I started to get a bit like, I think I need to go and move the car, right? Or do something. Because I'm getting a bit dodgy. So I managed to, I was getting dodgy vibes. I managed to get Graham, who was the tutor at the time, to allow me to go a bit earlier.
Oh God, Graham.
As I went back to the car, the old dude had only left a fucking note on the window saying, of that car, 2 lads have rammed into your car, which we hadn't. Like, honestly, we hadn't.
Yeah.
There was no damage to it. This is their number plate. You know, blah, blah, blah. This is my number and all this crap. So do you know what I did? I took the note, got him a car, drove off, and disposed of the note.
It was such a bitch move though, because there was literally
There was no damage.
there was nothing. You wouldn't even have known. Like if it hadn't ripped the trim off of Stylosa's car, we probably wouldn't have even known we'd touched it in any way.
No.
It was
My
just
car
like,
was
it was
damaged.
so
It had to
pathetic.
have paint put back on it. It was damaged. Because the trim had ripped
Their
off.
car was just completely like there was nothing on it. You couldn't even know. It was so pathetic. I was like, what the fuck? Terrible.
After
Grumpy
that
old
car,
bitch.
I had a Nissan Navara Sports Edition 2.5 litre truck with a king cab. It was metallic blue. It had alloys. It had fat tyres on it. It had a... basically, I would have fitted in America. It had a tow bar, It almost had bull bars on it, but I decided to pull out at the end because the fuel cost was horrendous anyway.
Well, yeah, it did
Putting
like
more
1
weight on
mile
the
to the gallon.
And it also had a what do they call it? It's like the hard top at the back.
I can't remember what they're called.
It's a fully enclosed, it's a pickup truck at the back, but it had like a fully enclosed
A carry something?
carry board, carry top, I don't know.
Cabin or something?
Yeah, like a big cabin on the back, right? So this was a fucking monster of a vehicle, and I tell you what, driving around in that with just being above the traffic was amazing. I can understand why people have big fuck off cars like Range Rovers and shit, because it's just like I used to do a thing I used to impose myself on the traffic. Where if there was no
I was in that
I'd
thing with you occasionally when
off.
you did that. You just drive into places like, yeah, get out of the way, fuck you.
Yeah, because it was
But
so
no one
big.
could do anything about it because it was massive.
What would you do? Ram it? You need a bus, and even that would.
And I remember
I really enjoyed that thing.
I remember when we went paintballing. It was us, another guy from college, and one of his mates, and we all met at the paintball place. And we turned up in like a Ford Fiesta, the three of us, and then you turned up. And you pulled into the car park in this massive truck, and the guy was like, "Who's that?" And I went, "Oh, that's Sty." Why is he? What's he got that for? And I said, "That's just his car." He was like, "What the fuck?" He couldn't understand why you had such a massive truck for your car.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Honestly, just having that ability to you got that much space.
Didn't you get sent to Zambia or something as well?
No, Tanzania. This is the story.
Tanzania, that was it.
So I get to a point where, the whole point I had it was because I was working for the family business at the time. So that's why I needed it, because I had a tow bar so I could tow shit around with it, right? But I didn't really tow that much around with it, though, to be honest. But I did some bits. But it was, amazing. Big, massive truck. Anyway, got rid of it, right, to a woman and her 5 kids who turned up in, a massively clapped-out Ford Fiesta, I think it was. I thought, hey, what's going on here? Who the hell are these? They're piss takers. She was a buyer for an off-road car company in Tanzania, and she said to me, "I don't understand why you people have these vehicles when your roads are immaculate. We have no roads in Tanzania." I was like, okay. And then she didn't even take it for a test drive, just turned it on and said, "That sounds good," and checked the door, the car, the thing in the door that comes off, to see if she could take it off. And I said, what are you doing that for? And she said, "We're going to need to dismantle it for transport." I was like, okay.
Go for pack drugs into the door cavity.
Maybe I've got a picture of it for you guys to see.
That was bloody surreal, wasn't it? That was just weird. Of all the people who could have bought it, someone's going to ship it to Tanzania. We remained convinced for quite a while afterwards that it's still driving around Tanzania, and there's a machine gun mounted to the back in the bed.
AK-47.
An AK-47, yeah.
50
and it had
cal,
been shipped
50
over
cal on the back
with cocaine stuffed into the doors, or stuffed into the tyres or something. That was so odd. It was a quality truck, that, though. I mean, as cars go,
I have got a
beat the
picture. Hang
massive-
on. I've got a picture.
It was rare as well. I've never seen another one on the road.
Yeah.
I've never seen the Mark 1 on the road. I've only ever seen yours. It looked solid. Yeah, Cabbage, it was converted to a battle wagon, pretty much. There seems to be an argument in the chat about party rings. What the hell? I mean, maybe I should have bought a truck instead of a car. That would have been amazing.
Here you go. Here you go, stream. Get ready. That was my truck. That's me driving it as well. Look, it had roll bars or something in the back. Can you see? What the hell?
Absolutely mental. That was your second car as well. That's the mad thing. You went from like a Peugeot 306 to that. It's what the fuck? Bit of a leap.
Oh my god.
I remember when you turned up in my house as well, like, look what I've bought. What?
You know what, as well, right? It had the bonnet. Can you see the bonnet? It had the air intake on the bonnet. And the mirrors were all electric on it, like they went in and out. It had the chrome bumper on the rear. It had you see, it's got the foot thing underneath the door, because you can stand on it to get in. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely mental.
That was crazy. No, because we're not in America, so why the hell would we have a fucking Texas Ranger truck?
What?
And then, the current car I've got is a Hyundai Coupe. Although, I always used to call it a coupe. I was like a Hyundai Coupe. Because I felt like a bit of a dick going, it's a coupe.
Coupe. It's a coupe, don't you know?
It's the sports edition. It's a 2 litre special edition, that's what it is. It's decent. It's cheap. It's not an expensive car. It's pretty reliable as well. The fuel consumption's okay. It's about 30 miles to the gallon, which isn't too bad considering it's 2 litre. It's fairly fast. You know, it's nothing crazy. It's like, I think it's 138 brake horsepower, so it's not crazy. It's not like,
yeah.
The acceleration's not too bad. The best car I ever drove was a Renault Clio 2 litre. I think it was a 186 or something. It was 180 somewhat brake horsepower, and that car has no weight, and that was dead fast. It was like a go-kart. That's the best car I've ever drove.
I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of mine. I'm not sure if I ever put a picture of it on my computer. It's so chavvy.
See a poplar.
I'd be kind of gutted if I haven't, though, because it served me terribly until I got rid of it. I was going to say it served me well, but that would just be an outright lie. No, I've not even kept any pictures of it.
I don't have a picture of mine. Yeah, I don't have a picture of mine, but it's a red one with 2 exhausts in the back. But I don't know, like, to be honest, I'm not really too sure I actually need a car, so I might sell it. Because if I need to go anywhere...
What does it need doing? Sell it to me. I need a car. So.
It needs a handbrake replacing.
Oh, God.
But that's what if 70 quid.
No, that's not too bad, actually.
No, it's £70 for the part, and then whatever it is for... Unless you want to put your own handbrake in.
Oh, I'd do it. I'd do it for the hell of it.
I wouldn't even know where to start. I'd be like, what the fuck? I don't know, Numpty. I need it cutting now. Whenever I can be asked going out of town.
Get your own shaver, son. Do what I do.
Maybe you could show me live on stream after you give yourself a grade 1. Get a kit car, yeah, right. Mr. No mechanical know-how.
TV.
Get a fucking kit car.
Cars. I would not drive it. Even if I successfully put it together, I'd be like, no, fuck that. Because there's a chance that it just collapse. Like whilst I was driving it. I wouldn't trust myself to put something like that together. No way.
Any other games you'd like to make a series with? Hang on. You know what, actually? So, Bob, a Boxster. I don't know, what's a Boxster S? I guess you're referring just to the normal Porsche Boxster? Or is that the truck? That's the Jeep, innit? Not the Jeep, but the Range Rover style thing, innit?
The Boxster S, no, it's just the
car.
Yeah.
They're quite cheap, though, aren't they? No. I like Lotus Elises as well. I know they fall apart and break down, but I'd have one of them.
They are nice. I mean, I love those cars, but they just... It's like you couldn't go anywhere in it because it just die.
The only American car I like is Heisenberg's car, whatever that is.
There's one of those on my street as well.
Oh shit, yeah, there is. There is.
It's a right...
It's I'm driving over to his house. Oh, this is when I got the Xbox off you the other day. And I'm coming over, and I'm like, bloke, I was just behind her, Heisenberg, and he's like, what? Oh, that guy? I'm like, yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Quality that was. The thing is, the timing of that, when you came and got the Xbox, was just... I think that was just before I had that kidney stone, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Like, you came
is
and got
gone
it,
now,
and then
what?
Yeah, that's gone. It's disappeared. It was expelled manually.
What?
As it were. Yeah, it fucking wrecked. The area that it comes out of was not designed to have anything like that go into it. It was there was blood. That's all I'm going to say, bloke. There was masses of blood, and it stung like a right bitch. But it's gone, and that's all I care about. But yeah, you took the Xbox, and then for like 4 days solid, I was in so much pain I could barely move, so I was just lying on the sofa but you'd taken my fucking DVD player away because that's what we used to play DVDs on. We still can't watch DVDs because you still got it. So I was like, I'm gonna watch. I'll watch a film. Oh no, I can't watch anything. Lying there, no entertainment. It was terrible, but it was worth it. GTA 5. Mark Axe has just vomited. Why have you vomited? It's not because of my pissing blood story, is it?
Oh god, like, that used to be a joke. Like, me and some chums, you punch somebody in the kidney, they'll be pissing red in the morning. So we used to punch each other in the kidney.
It's quite disturbing when you actually do it. It really is. It's like, what? Oh Jesus, why?
This one time I was on some medication for Crohn's that turned my piss fluorescent green. And they did not tell me about this.
Look like you've been overdosing on Monster.
I swear to God, right? I'm there and I'm like, what is going on?
Hang on, they never told you?
No, because it's an uncommon side effect of it, right? A very uncommon side effect. Because the drug, what they did tell me about it was, if you get a pain in your stomach, you got to come to hospital quick because that means your pancreas is rejecting the drug, and if your pancreas goes, you die. So you got to you literally have to take.
If your pancreas goes, you die.
You got to take it. Honestly, but get this: the whole things with Crohn's is the pain's in the stomach anyway. So I'm like, yeah, but it's wrecking me anyway. This is well, you've got to like, you know, differentiate the pain. And I'm like, okay. So I've got this drug, and they said, we've done these tests on you. We think you can take it, but the only way to find out is actually taking it. But take it in such a small amount that if it does fuck you, like, so I had to take a quarter of a pill. If I took a whole one and it disagreed me, you'd be dead. You'd be fucked. And I'm like, so really? I have got a lot of things I could have been depressed about. But I was like, okay, all right. And so I'm there with this pill that's chopped up. I'm like, You know what? As well, they said take it just before you go to bed. And I was just like, no, I'm taking this while I'm awake. Right?
It could kill you, but take it before you go to sleep.
One of the ways is it would wake you up in your sleep because it's that bad. So you'd be like, oh shit, you got to go to the hospital. But I was like, no. So I'm there like this. I think I'll go to the toilet now. I get up, I go to the toilet, fluorescent green. So I ring the hospital.
At which point,
I ring the nurse.
You're like, what the fuck?
The specialist nurse. And I'm like, so fluorescent green. And she went, well, that's an uncommon side effect, but you'll probably be okay. That's a good sign. I'm like, okay. So while I was on this drug for like a couple of months, it was interesting. Although it did sort me out. But then they told me to just keep taking it, at which point I told them to fuck off because it turns out that this drug is highly carcinogenic. So I was like, fuck that, which means it gives you cancer. Like, so I'm like, fuck that.
I mean, what is that drug? There's a chance you might die when you take it.
Azathioprine, that's what it was called.
And
it's an immunosuppressant drug. You need to take it if you have a kidney transplant. But to be honest, if you're having kidney transplants, I don't think you give a shit about cancer. But that's the thing with it. It's all about like quality of life crap they go on about. So, you know, if you're
I think getting cancer is a bad for your quality of life, personally. But, you know, maybe that's just me. It just seems a bit mental. Jesus Christ. I'm kind of glad I've never had anything like that.
Next question. A piss Mountain Dew. I wouldn't know what that is. Oh, no, I do. That's a lemonade, isn't it, or something? I don't know. I see that in the... You know what? That's usually for sale in the really cheap shops here in the UK. Like, get 4 for £1. And nobody knows what it is. They're like, what's this shit? But I obviously know about the Mountain Dew Doritos thing with the Halo guy. Well, not the Halo guy. The guy from... where's he from? Is he from IGN or GameSpot?
Yeah, IG. I can't remember what his name is.
I can't say I've ever had it. Well, I think I have had it, but I just don't know what it tastes like. Like, I've never had Gatorade as well.
I think it's just Lucasade, but not as good.
Until we turn it off, Rizzle. I'm having a tea break, Mr. Kirioff. You can entertain the stream if you like.
What if I need a tea break?
Well, you wait till I get back.
What the hell? What is this about? Terrible. Haven't we answered this? Are there any other games you would like to make a series with? thought we answered that earlier. Or am I off my face? I don't know, Runic. It depends, really. We're liking Civ 5 at the moment, so that'll keep going until we decide that we don't want to do it anymore. At which point, obviously, we'll go and do something else. But we were kind of hoping to do a series of Rome 2, but it's so buggy and horrendous that we're not going to do that. Because it's buggy and horrendous, so we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do. We're not going to have a versus each other in Civ 5 because it would take way too long, and we'd have to really mess about with getting like footage from both screens sorted. It would be like twice as long as any other playthrough, which would be kind of gash. I don't think it would work very well, so it's unlikely we'll ever do that. Go away, loot box. What else was there? Oh, sorry, Cal, I missed that. Cal, what did you say? Tell us about the times you played in a band. Well, most of the time, Cal, I just got absolutely smashed off my face because people bought me loads of drinks, and I don't remember very much of the evenings that we actually played. But it was fun. Oh, sorry, Rizzle Sims. I did not mean to time you out there. That was an accident. I do apologise. My chat would not scroll. And occasionally my mouse, for whatever reason, flings the pointer around. I don't know why. But it decided to fling slightly to the left. My apologies. Do accept my apologies, Rizzle Sims. Once you come back, you can ask again. Do you drink coffee? No, I do not drink coffee. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. It's not nice. I played bass loot box. I played bass then. I play guitar now. You know what? I kind of Hemelon. I'd quite like to do Sins of a Solar Empire somehow. I'd quite like to maybe do an extended series of it somehow. I'm not sure how it would work though. Maybe something that could go up on a Sunday, like Sins of a Solar Empire Sunday or something, and I can play a massive map or something. But I'd quite like to do something like that. Too much. Will you ever live stream a Civ game? That seems highly unlikely because it takes bloody ages to have a decent game of Civ. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Never say never though. Do you have any big community events planned? Baron TV1. If you follow, if you have a look on the forum, and if you are part of the Steam group, then you will get notified when we do flash events and stuff. The community leaders are really good for organising community events. So whenever they do a community event, you should get involved in that, because it's always good. Sorry, Rizzle Sims, I did not mean to time you out just as you were leaving. My apologies, son. My apologies. No, I don't like Irish coffee either. Do you guys attend conventions? Well, we have in the past, and we probably will in the future. It depends entirely on how busy we are at the time. But I've been to Eurogamer, we've been to the Insomnia series a few times. We'll probably go to more as we get invitations and see things we want to have a look at. So, Bob, what games are you looking forward to later this year? I'm actually really looking forward to Dark Souls 2 now. I think that's due to be out later this year. I could be wrong though. But beyond that, I'm kind of looking forward to Battlefield 4 because it looks better than Battlefield 3. Largely. How do you find the Steam group? If you just search community for Unit Lost, then you should be able to find it. Flip mode. We've got quite a few members now, so. Are you sponsored by Jammy Dodgers? No, unfortunately, we are not sponsored by Jammy Dodgers. If we were, I would be even more overweight than I already am. Do you plan to do videos on old stuff you used to do? Good day, sir. Like Mountain Blade or Chivalry? I don't know, Runic. It's kind of... We enjoy playing those games at the time, but we don't want to just make content on it for the sake of it. Like, if we decided to play it one day and ended up recording it, then... Yeah, but we're not going to sit there and say we must produce more content in this, because the best thing about the content that we produced for Mountain Blade and Chivalry was that it was kind of off the cuff. It just happened. You know, we didn't plan it. It was just... It happened, and so it ended up being really good.
It's very hard to plan things like that. You can't say, right, we want to make a funny video of Chivalry. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's just like, let's go and play Chivalry and see what happens. That's what it is. Anybody who goes out there with the intention to make a video is false, and you'll be able to tell.
Instantly, usually.
No, not at the moment, Morbidal. Do you want to be it?
He's open to offers.
Just as the crazy, like, Russian 1930s music starts playing.
A Russian lass. What's your thoughts on the Steam trading cards? Don't care.
I don't even use them.
I don't know what they are. I just don't care. What are they even for? I don't know.
Cheers, Slam.
Yeah, the artillery. Oh yeah, cheers, Slam Jam. See you later, son. Love it.
Oh yeah, that artillery video is crazed.
That was...
Especially the bit
brilliant.
where I get shot with the cannonball in there. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was quality. Oh my god.
Guilty pleasure.
In what respect? Like, what games are a guilty pleasure?
Well, in games, what's... Like, what do you...
I have to admit, every now and then, I do take a bit of guilty pleasure in putting the game on easy and just smacking the shit out of things for no reason. It doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally it's nice to just use overwhelming
Creed, that
force for no
GTA
reason
video was
whatsoever.
amazing. See, that's another example where we recorded that together, but we recorded it for hours and hours. You know, it's like a 3-hour session. It's like, what's happened? And then you got to put it together. It's not like, let's go out and make a funny clip, because you just can't do that.
Doesn't work.
Jade penetrate black package is a guilty pleasure. I don't know, like for me, guilty pleasure.
I don't know. In terms of a guilty pleasure of just a game, I've got more hours on Plants vs Zombies than I care to admit to. But that's just because I enjoy that game. It's a good little time waster occasionally. But beyond that, I don't know.
You know what I've got on my tablet? I'll show you.
It's not Candy Crush, is it? Peggle.
You better not just give it away. I want to see if they can guess what it is.
Oh, I don't think so. Unless I guessed it correctly by accident, without knowing anything about what it is.
This is what the tablet says. It's not focusing, but that says 3% battery remaining, and it's been playing Sabaton Art of War on Spotify. So you can't. But it was going to be R-Type. But I think Mr. Kirioth already gave it away, didn't he, the scumbag?
No. I said Candy Crush or Peggle.
Minecraft, here's the thing, right? When we made the Minecraft videos, I did spend a fucking unusual amount of time just in creative mode building. Because I showed it to Kiri. Because we like had our own little server, and I was building just this. It was like a massive golden palace, and I was like, "Look what I've done!" And he's like, "What the fuck?" How much did it took me? Like 4 hours, probably more. And I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. So maybe, but I don't know. I just guilty pleasure.
Minecraft. I don't think there is such a thing as a guilty pleasure.
I haven't played it since like the start of the year at all. I don't even know where it's installed on my computer.
I kind of, every now and then, I kind of want to try and do something with Minecraft, but the only thing that can be done is stuff that's already been done, so it's like, well, what do you do? Well, yeah, you can make your own story, but also it's kind of boring just looking at one person's perspective, which means there's a lot of messing about. It's like, that was quality of the dirt tower. And also, we were terrible at building a house and then losing the fucking house as well. That was quite a bad thing that happened all the time.
But I don't really know,
No.
like, a sort of guilty pleasure in gaming. I think, I don't know, I don't really have something where I just disappear to, nobody knows about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. We just don't. I'm playing Dark Souls at the moment. That's not a guilty pleasure though, is it? I won't play after the stream because I've got all sorts of stuff out there. I need to go to bed, but I'll probably be playing that. In fact, I'll be playing it tomorrow night with Rui because we're working on my character. Well, I'll play bits and pieces with him. He doesn't actually out me. He just sits there laughing at me, and I'm like, what, But then eventually, like I said, we can all stream together, and he'll just
that'll be good.
Well, the plan is he'll be a like a ranged character, and he'll just sit in the back, and me and you can just die at the front, and he's just there to take the piss. You know what? This isn't really a guilty pleasure, but I know I haven't updated the video as well, guys. But I'm sure if you listen to this like a podcast, it doesn't matter. I forgot what I was going to say. What the hell? Like it isn't a guilty pleasure, but kind of missing games, or just saying like Dark Souls is shit, I'm not going to play it, and then actually playing it and thinking this is actually pretty good, but it's a bit shitty because the port was crap. Although it's totally fixed with DS fix and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have a controller, but now I do. And things like that. Like I said, it goes back to being a little bit more open-minded, I suppose.
You know what, Cabbage McGravel? I would quite like to try and play Garry's mod more, but I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And beyond stringing a load of stupid things together. I mean, when we did that Garry's mod video, that was literally, we sat down and we're like, how does this work? And just recorded whatever happened. Because we didn't have a clue. We don't know how the game works. Got no idea. And it ended up being mental, because we found a stupid thing that allowed you to put like Warhammer 40k stuff into Garry's mod. So, oh my god, you can put a Land Raider in here. So, of course, you got to make a jet-powered Land Raider. But what was that? That was just ridiculous. I can see how people lose a lot of time into it, but also it seems like it requires a lot of time to understand what the hell's going on.
Well, I see things like on YouTube, like the prop hunt videos. I don't know what they are. I guess that's a mod for Garry's mod, where you can disguise yourself on various Counter-Strike source maps, and you got to find them. You see trouble in Terrorist Town, so I don't know. I mean, I guess really we should look at doing stuff with them if they're funny. But I guess this is like a bit of a sin. I've not really got into Garry's mod beyond the actual video we made. I haven't even played it since, so.
Yeah, it's really daunting if you don't know what's going on with it. I think that's the problem. It's like, what the hell is all of this? And there's no easy manual. There's no kind of do this to do this. It's just what the hell?
As in the really old Half-Life 1 mod?
Yeah. Yeah, Ardbug gave us a copy each. I've got yours in my Steam inventory.
Isn't that the one where you have to hide and people have to find you?
There's like
a mystery on the ship.
It's like a murder mystery. You've got to kill the person that you've been sent to kill. I think, but you can't tell who's who. So, like, sometimes you can just walk into a room and you've just been butchered, and they've got to work out who did it and why and stuff.
That's a really old game. I remember that on Steam years ago when I had a friend who classed himself as a Steam gamer and everybody laughed in his face because the only games on Steam were Half-Life, Half-Life 2 and The Ship and Ricochet, I think.
Team Fortress.
Yeah, Team Fortress.
The glory days of Team Fortress. Alright, it's my turn for a tea break now.
Okay, give me a question then, chap.
I'll back in a
A
moment.
Stylosa question. Thanks to everybody who's subscribing as well, guys. Wonderful. Curry, I've just approved you on the forum. You know what? We've got 8 subscribers, guys, so far. That is pretty damn good. You know, our community is quality, absolutely quality. It might not be the biggest, but tell you what, we made it win. So Kalinar, I pasted in like a load of shit there. There you go. What do you have against ginger beards now? My beard goes ginger when it grows a certain length. The longest I've had it probably, this will be terrible to Cal, but kind of just covered my face. you know, neck, face. But it starts to go ginger. And my hair isn't ginger. You know, it's dark. It don't suit me. So I got rid. Baron, this is quite a good question. And I think, didn't you ask about a criminal record? I don't have a criminal record. What? Maybe Kiri does, though. Who knows? I broke my leg. I broke my fibula and my tibia in my right leg. I broke one of my fingers. Actually, this is quite funny. If you see my thumb, right, that's my left thumb. This is my right thumb. I don't know if you can see, actually. Can't really see too well, but the right thumb is flat. Maybe like this, you can see better. You see how it's much bigger? This one? It was hit with a 12-pound, I think it was a 12-pound sledgehammer. Or 8-pound sledgehammer. A big sledgehammer. I was holding a metal pin that was used to knock rocks out of the ground, and I put my thumb on top of it, and it come fucking straight down. This is like a full over-the-top hit like that, like off my dad, and it hit me right on the thumb, and it just exploded. It just went like that. I had my glove on, and it was just a right mess. The nail just totally exploded out and was gone. And I was like, it did to me, and I was like, and then it was weird because I couldn't feel anything, but it was just smashed, obviously. And the glove, I mean, I couldn't see it because I had, like, you know, gloves on, was just pissing of blood, and I was like, and so I went to the hospital with my finger out the window so it would cool down because it started to hurt real bad. I was like, and then when I got into A&E, they injected me with like some sort of numbing agent, and that was the best thing ever. So I was like, oh, because I'm not really squeamish, like, and I watched them get my nail, which I had with me, and reseat it back in the thumb, because I mean it's perfectly fine nail growth wise, but it's just flat. But that shattered the bone as well at the end. I had what else did I? Oh yeah, I had I think the medical term or technical term is L4, L5. Basically, at the base of my spine, I had three prolapsed discs, and one of them was prolapsed so bad it was on my sciatic nerve, so it gave me massive pain in my leg, and that had to be surgically cut out. But I'm totally fine now. These are football injuries as well, because I was like, I used to play for a professional team at a young age, and I was very intensively trained, and obviously I, got Crohn's and whatnot, but the training, the punishment in my spine wrecked it. That's it. I haven't broke anything else. I don't know. Kiri got run over. I'll answer this for him. He got run over crossing the traffic lights, hit and run. That bossed his knee. No, Baron. What it was is it's the constant, just like the repetitiveness of it. Like, when you see footballers having operations on their back, it's almost always for prolapse discs. But I don't know about Kiri and his kidney stone as well, and but I don't know more about him. We'll ask him this when he comes back. I'll leave it on the stream. What other question? Unless we get a better question. So what other questions do we have, ladies and gentlemen? I haven't played rugby in a game. Like, I've played rugby, like, training sessions and things like that, but I've never... I was... what position did I play? It's a winger, but it's not a winger, is it? What's it called in rugby? Is it flanker or something like that? I don't know, but basically the player who runs down the wing, not the big guys in the middle. I'd just get destroyed. But never in a team. Like, it was just training sessions and stuff like that. Well, I tell you what, Bob, marriage is a very expensive thing, which doesn't really need all that money spending on it, if you ask me. all you need to do is go to a registry office, get it sorted for a couple £100, and that's it. Spend the rest of the money on a nice house, on your car, on a holiday. Not spend 20 grand on a wedding. I don't understand that. But then I'm not a woman. And that's no disrespect to women out there, but I really don't give a shit about weddings. I just don't give a shit. So Cal has said, if you had to move to another country, I don't know. I've never really looked into it beyond. I looked at Sweden for a while. I mean, I guess you live there, so you could say, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard when you've lived in one country for so long. Oh, I mean, it's like I'm an old man, but like, you know, if I was in America or somewhere, it would be different, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be like I couldn't watch or do the same things. I guess I could watch because I only really watch the internet, YouTube and stuff. But I don't know, Cal. I don't know. Obviously, it'd have to be an English-speaking place or with a lot of people who can speak English. You know what, Fun Moose, or Fuck You Moose, whatever the hell your name is. Why do I like PC more than console? Well. Basically, it's because when I was a kid, I had a PlayStation 1. However, I then had a PC from a very early age. A lot of people in my family had PCs, so it was kind of, I guess that's the reason why. And I just naturally started playing PC games. You know, my friends, some of them, I kind of converted them over to PC. We used to go to LAN parties. We used to go to LAN cafes quite a lot. And basically from there, like when everybody was playing on their I mean, I never had a PlayStation 2. While everybody was on the PlayStation 2, never had a PlayStation 3 either. And even their Xboxes, I'm there on PC. That's when I was playing like Day of Defeat, EverQuest, you know, and stuff like that. So I kind of totally missed it. I had a Commodore 64. I had an Amiga 500 as well, but I was very young. You know what? There's a picture of me on Facebook. I'll find it because it's quite funny. I bet some people haven't seen it. Mr. Curry, they want to know what injuries you've suffered. Obviously, I gave them my list, which was quite comprehensive.
I've not really had that many injuries.
I told them about your knee. I told them about that.
Oh yeah, I did something dodgy to my hand because I punched a wall when I was trying to punch someone in the face and they ducked because they were a pussy bitch. And I got hit by that car and smashed my knee. I dislocated my shoulder as well playing squash. I did an amazing return.
You know, I've not played that much squash. Although I played badminton.
Into the wall.
You know, I really enjoyed badminton.
Badminton's quite good. I prefer squash to badminton.
Squash, I've never played it.
It's quite good. Just don't like flip yourself into the wall because it dislocates your shoulder. But I just ignored it. I carried on playing. It was only when the next day I realised I was still in horrible pain that I went to the doctor and you've dislocated that.
Right. So this picture, I'm going to interrupt you, Mr. Kirov, is Baby Sty on his Amiga 500. Get ready for this. This is amazing. Look. Check that out. Nice haircut.
Amazing.
And also massive box of Lego.
Let's face it, Lego is the best.
I've actually got another picture, hang on. This is the link. That's the link to it on Facebook, that picture. And there's also like, oh shit, one of the gaming days we did. December the 17th, 2011. I've got like a massive stash of Coke and Ripper and everything. Remember we need to do more of them, you know. Actually, we can with Twitch subscriber days. We do other stuff as well. Big community days. There's another picture here, which is... I'm just pulling down. I'll put it in the street.
Why does everyone have that haircut from that time? I think once you get to a certain age, your parents just give you a bowl cut. It doesn't matter what you do. I think there's always a certain age.
How can you have style at that age as well?
I know. It's not you control what you look like. Your parents just put you in shit and that's it.
People piss me off when they buy like designer clothes for the kids. I'm like, you stupid fuckers.
The kid doesn't give a shit.
No. This is more of an action shot. More of an action shot, that is. But these pictures were found by my mum and she emailed them to me. She said, look at these. I was like, what?
See you later, Van Draven.
See you, Van Draven. I mean, do I look like that anymore? Let's have a look.
I don't. I'd say no. That's the thing, you're doing the duck face there as well.
Anyway, let's bring Mr. Kirioff back.
The duck face.
Oh man. Winning from an early age. But they're the I had that Amiga 500, but I had the Commodore before that. And it's strange when I look at that, because I'm obviously not very old then, but I can remember that. And I can remember the Commodore, because I can remember when my dad bought it. And he brought it in, and it was in like a big box, and he's like, look at this. I was like, what the fuck? You know, you see these kids who are like, oh god, I've got a SNES for Christmas and all this crap. Nah, it was like, fucking hell, Commodore. But it's amazing how I could have loading screen.
I do not remember anything from that age. I barely remember stuff from last year. I got no chance.
Oh, right, I'm looking for other questions. A mouse is bigger than your hand. Yeah, it was a big mouse.
We've already talked about pets. We're not doing that again. Which realm/world from game/movie would you most like to go to? I don't know. The world of Pacific Rim and be a pilot of the Jägers.
So I got some issues with that film, but I'm not going to go into it.
Well, no, it's not very good, but...
Why would you build giant robots and not just fire missiles at the thing, you know, bunker busting? But whatever. I don't know. What would I like to go? Maybe we're already in the Matrix.
I wouldn't mind going into the Matrix, actually. The ability to like fly through the air and kick people in the face, I'll go for that.
No, we've never been on the TGS podcast. We actually talked about this before, but no, we've not. I don't think we ever will be, unless we get really big.
We should be, obviously.
Obviously, I mean, if they did invite us, you know, I'd be glad to go on it. No, Underdog, it doesn't, because, like, why would you... Aliens are coming through the fucking seabed from another dimension. We must build equally sized robots to fight them.
And also, the other thing as well, the thing that really pissed me off about that film was I watched it because I was promised giant robots fighting giant monsters. The film's like 2 hours and something minutes long.
You know why I went
Why is there only half an hour of giant robot action?
You know why I went and watched it, Mr. Kirioff? Because they told me it was the new Star Wars. It is not.
No, not even slightly. Not even a little bit. It isn't even remotely the new Star Wars. I mean, what the hell? Who would even think that? You have to be on... Like, oh, God.
Yeah, here's a question for you, Kiri. There you go. Are you excited for the Warcraft movie?
No. No, I don't. I mean...
This track is awesome. That's playing on the street.
But I bet it isn't.
A hell of a threat, Red Alert 3.
Isn't.
Awesome.
Yeah, Underdog. The percentage of Jäger versus Kaiju fighting was high. It was not. It was low. It was very, very low.
Honestly, I don't agree with calling them Jägers as well. That's a really crappy name. Okay, it means hunter. Because Jägermeister, hunter master, ain't it? Is it?
But still.
Wrong? It is, isn't it? Hunter master. Tastes like cough syrup.
But it just doesn't sound very good.
No, it's like Jäger. It's like, why didn't they call it something quality like... And
also, why did they call them Kaiju as well? Why did America, the first place to get attacked by them, call them Kaiju?
Because of Godzilla, wasn't it? Wasn't that the explanation?
But why didn't they just call them Godzillas or something? Monsters.
Fuck
call
off,
them
aliens.
monsters before you called them. We call them.
If we were in charge, it would be the fuck off aliens have invaded. Send the. What would the. I mean, honestly, they could have just gone with something simple and called them like dreadnoughts or something. That would have sounded okay to me, because that's a massive
would not,
thing.
You wouldn't call them kaiju. It's like an obscure
Jäger as well.
reference that only nerds would get. What the hell?